All right, so time for some photo critiques. These are critiques of everyone who, did I record? Okay, didn't even know if I was recording. Okay, these are critiques of people who volunteered to be a part of it. And just so you guys know, none of these images are bad images. None of these things are to take personal. None of these things are hating on anyone. I tried to pick critiques that I gave to multiple people so that we can each see examples, and it's just things to improve on. It doesn't mean that you're a bad model. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means so you can improve. And it also helps other people see maybe they didn't get this critique, but they do this. Or they can work on it, okay? And I also want to just applaud everyone who was down to be a part of it, because it's not easy putting yourself out there, especially for criticism, and it's not easy to volunteer in something like that. It's not easy to be the face of a critique. So thank you guys, and I hope that someone learned something from this. And again, these are just examples, so hopefully that sets that straight. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or anything like that, because all of you guys are awesome. And I'm actually super impressed with each and every one of you. After we shot together the first round, I was extremely impressed with every single one of you. So actually critiquing you guys was actually very difficult for me. And a lot of the stuff was kind of nitpicky. So there it is. Okay, so the first person I'm critiquing is Bridge. And the number one thing, or the good critique part I want to give, is that she had an amazing theme. It was completely cohesive, and it made it extremely easy to execute. It made it extremely easy to shoot. It made it extremely easy for the viewer of the image to understand what was going on, right? So her theme was like a classic Christmas shoot with this beautiful gown, her hair, even down to the earrings, the hair, the makeup. It felt like everything matched. She looked super classic, almost Hollywood-like. She even brought these awesome lights that we could use as props. And it was overall just really well thought out. And that always makes it really easy, really fun, and it really just pulls everything together. So if you got this critique, great job to you, and good job, Bridge. This was awesome. The critique I'm going to use as an example from Bridge, and this is a critique I saw across many albums, was repetition of certain anchor points. So the most common anchor point I see throughout all of you guys is somewhere along the collarbone, along the face, and along the hair. And I know that I instruct a lot to do with the hair, but it's just the repetition of doing it over and over again. So let's incorporate more anchor points. And also what I'm saying is anything like this that I'm saying, like repetition of here, isn't bad. I don't want you to stop doing this. I just want you to add more. So you can go from here to the hair, to up here, to up here, to here, and just incorporate more movement in that, and incorporate more variety in your anchor points, if that makes sense. Okay, so thank you, Bridge, for being a part of it. And the next person is Jerry. Okay, so I want to compliment Jerry on her posing and flow. She has a really natural movement, really natural flow throughout different poses. I didn't have to give her a lot of direction. She knew exactly how to move and keep the movement going, which is amazing, and something that I think a lot of models can work on, and a lot of models need to be congratulated for that as well. And this image in particular is the one I chose as the example, because I believe that this wasn't even a pose that she necessarily meant to do, or it was kind of an in-between pose, if that makes sense. So think of your movement and flow as if I was taking an image every second, okay? And when you change to a different pose, see if you can create a beautiful image like this, a beautiful pose with your body in transition. So great job, Jerry. This was an awesome shoot. You're really natural in front of the camera and it really shows. Okay, and then this is another critique I saw across several albums is the repetition of looking away. So again, I don't want to say looking away is bad because these are some of my favorite images is looking away and looking off. I think it brings a lot of emotion, but let's incorporate more intensity with the camera. Let's incorporate more looking into the camera, things like that. That way your whole album has more diversity and you have a lot of different options for the kind of look you want to do. Like, for example, I would have loved to see this exact shot like this and also shot with her eyes looking up at us, you know, really intense, like holding the book. I think that would have been so beautiful. But again, looking away is not bad. Let's just add more into your directions and looking more at the camera as well. Okay, great job, Jerry. Thank you for being a part of it. Okay, next. Ethan, your sound effects make me sound like I'm farting.
I sound like what?
Your sound effects make me sound like I'm farting. Okay, so Casey,
Oh, that freaking Centurion and
okay, Casey, this shoot was one of my favorite shoots. I loved it so much. And I wanted to compliment you on knowing your angles, working your angles, and adding intensity in the eyes. A critique I actually gave to a lot of people is to add more intensity into their eyes, and you kill that. So I wanted to compliment you on that. You really know your angles. You really know how to work your face. You really know how to bring intensity in your facial expressions. And you did a really great job. If you look at this image right here, all she's doing is looking and holding the dress, right? But the feeling she gives with her eyes and in her facial expression is just so intense. And she really knows how to make her eyes especially give different emotions. Okay. And this is something that I'll talk about too, is what does your expression give when more of the whites of your eyes show? What does that means surprised, you know? What does your expression mean when your head is tilted and your eyes are kind of down, you know? What does your expression when your eyebrows and eyes are lit down but your eyes are up? Things like that, if that makes sense. That all those things add levels of intensity to your look, and Casey did a really, really good job of doing that. Okay, and then this is probably one of the most popular critique I gave to everyone was just incorporate more movement, more flow into your posing. So when we set out with a pose, and this goes along with last week's, or I guess it was this week's other training video, is just to add more movement. So when she's standing here in this position, she can be holding the skirt and then hold that for about 5 seconds. Then drop one of the sides of the skirts, you know, hold that for 5 seconds. Then hold the skirt and add another anchor point on the hip. Then add an anchor point up here. Then twist her head this way and look this way. All of these things can be incorporated into this one pose, if that makes sense. So we really want to work on just adding lots of movement and flow into one pose and see how many different poses you can end up in without changing your entire pose, if that makes sense. It's a really good way to add a lot of flow and movement into your posing. So before we move on, thank you, Casey. I love this shoot. You rocked it. You had the other critique I was thinking about giving was you had such a great attitude, and this shoot was so cold. I was freezing. I had like 3 shirts on, a jacket and a snow jacket. I had gloves. I had 2 pairs of pants on, leg warmers, boots, a hat, and I was freezing. and she had a really great attitude and worked through this because she really wanted the look. And I really appreciated that she didn't have me drive all the way to Durango and then, you know, not be able to do it. She really wanted to do it and she was ready for the challenge. I really appreciated that. So great job. Ethan, can you refrain from cursing? Okay. Taylor is up next. I really loved this shoot. This shoot was inspired by this dress that Taylor got, and it was just so beautiful in the snow. And we had almost scheduled this earlier before we shot this. I'm so glad we waited for some good snow because it was so beautiful. But Taylor has a really great posture, and I wanted to compliment on her on that. I never have to tell her to roll her shoulders back, stand them nice and straight. She has a really great natural posture, and it really comes across in photos. So if you have a critique that says to work on your posture, this is a really good example of just rolling the shoulders back, tuck the arms backward, keep the chin nice and up, and just bring that chest up, okay? And you do that really great naturally. I never have to remind you to do that. It's wonderful. Okay. And then her critique that she can work on, and a lot of other people got this critique as well, is the repetition of facial expressions. So Taylor has a gorgeous look. Okay. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. And she knows how to work it. I think she's ready. And I think all of you guys who got this critique are ready for more, if that makes sense. So let's incorporate, now that you've got your look down and you kill it every time, now let's start incorporating more looks that you can also kill. And this is something that's really hard to learn, but once you start doing it, I know that it's going to be a breeze down the road. So just practice facial expressions. You can do this by lifting the eyebrow, furrowing the brow, moving your eyes around, having your head on a swivel, using the mouth. You know, what does it look like when you softly open the mouth? What does it look like when you open the mouth fully and show your teeth without smiling? Things like that. So I think you guys, anyone who got this critique is, I wouldn't give you the critique if I didn't think you were ready for more. And you'll have to practice that a little bit more behind the scenes. But great job, Taylor. This shoot was so beautiful, and shoots like these always make me like the snow, even when I hate the snow. Okay, next up is Abby. First off, Abby, I loved our shoot together. It was so much fun. We talked way too much. And it was a really great time, and you have a really great attitude. And I loved how you were down for a sparkly shoot. And I want to compliment you on your diversity in anchor points. While I was looking through your album for a critique, I was super surprised because I didn't remember noticing this in the moment, probably because we're talking a lot. But every single image, you move your anchor points, and that is amazing. It's something that's very hard to do. It's something that usually has to be directed and practiced a lot, and you do that wonderfully and naturally. And you had about 2 feet to work with because we pretty much stayed in the same position the whole entire time, and every single image looks different, which is awesome, and great job on that. Your critique is something that I gave to other models as well, and that is reverting back to a smile. Now, I want to make it extremely clear. Smiling in photos and practicing your smile is wonderful. It's something that a lot of models do not do, and then when they have to smile, they don't kill it. Like, this picture is a perfect example. You kill it. You kill the smile. You kill it. What I'm referring to is when you're out of poses or facial expressions, and other people do this as well. I think it's really natural when you start to get that awkward feeling to revert to a smile because it feels normal. We all smile in photos. So work on, instead of reverting back to a smile, work on incorporating the smile in its whole set of a pose or set of images, okay? So think of smiling as its own facial expression that you should work instead of reverting back to it when you run out of other things. Does that make sense? But you killed the smile, and I really loved our shoot. Wonderful job. Okay, and last up is Genesis. Um, Genesis, I loved this shoot. It was cold as heck, and you never complained once, which is another really great positive attitude. And I want to compliment you on your variety in posing. I remember when we planned the shoot out, you had mentioned to me that you wanted lots of posing, lots of editorial style posing, you know, really unique and powerful posing, and you absolutely killed it. I barely had to pose you, and you were down to try everything and anything, and I just appreciated that so much and think that you absolutely killed that. Every single outfit, even though we were working with like a, you know, a square little area, every single picture and every single outfit looked different, and you had amazing poses. So great job on that. I could tell that Genesis had researched poses, she had them in her mind, and she had practiced what she was going to do. And I think a lot of you guys could also do this and learn from this. And it was amazing. So great job, Genesis. And her critique is something that is super common, which is flat or flexed feet. I can't talk today. So this picture is a really good example of that. So if you don't know the difference, that's okay. So flat or flexed feet is when if your foot's naturally like this and you flex it, you're pointing your toe towards your knee. So if this is my foot, this is flexed, right? Like how it is in the picture. And we want to have pointed toes. So point them down towards the ground, right? Like a ballerina. So point your toes. This is going to help elongate your legs. It's going to elongate your entire body. You can even do this when you're standing, is kind of roll up on the ball of your foot. If you can balance like that, it elongates your whole entire body. It's super feminine, and it also makes you look super tall. Male models can do this as well and still look masculine, and also elongate the body and elongate the legs. So especially for my shorties out there, definitely practice this and work this into your posing. Point the feet and make sure you're never flexing, because when we flex, it cuts you off right there and it shortens your legs. So make sure to work that in. It's like one of the most common things because it's so unnatural. Okay. But great job, Genesis. This was an awesome shoot. And I think that's it. So I will be doing these kind of every few months and ask for more people who are open to critique. Again, thank you to anyone that volunteered themselves. And I hope you guys got to see a little bit more of the critiquing side and what I'm looking for when I critique and how you can better improve your posing. All right. I will see you guys next week. One second. Let me grab my binder. Next week, we will be going over working with brands and getting paid. That'll be more of an intro topic because that does need more information that I can really sit down and give in one session, but it'll be our intro into that. And if you guys want in on the runway nights, we have 3 planned for this month. Please let me know, and I will add you to the list. Okay, I hope everyone has a great week, and I'm going to stop this. Bye.